Hello students, today we are going to discuss the techniques of scientific management. In the previous video we have discussed what are the principles of scientific management given by F.W. Taylor. There are 4 principles we have discussed, and then today we are going to discuss the techniques which F.W. Taylor has given. So the first technique given by F.W. Taylor is the functional foremanship, the principle of functional foremanship. According to this principle, Taylor suggested that the whole factory should be divided into 2 departments. First is planning department and second one is production department, so that the workers are not overburdened with the work of planning and other activities. So he suggested that the factory should be divided into 2 departments, and one will be planning, second one will be production department. In planning department there will be 4 specialists, and in production also there will be 4 specialists, and they will be responsible for giving orders, instructions, and they will be doing the work. They will be specialists in their own way, and they will give or they will supervise the work of the worker. Here is the worker. So worker work will be supervised by 8 bosses. Okay, he will get orders and instruction from 8 bosses. So in planning department we have 4 experts: route clerk, instruction card clerk, time and cost clerk, disciplinarian. So now individually we have to see what is the work of these 4 specialists. So route clerk is responsible for fixing up of the sequence of work. Okay, route clerk will tell you the sequence of work in which mechanical or manual job will be performed. Then instruction card clerk will give you general instruction for doing the job. The time and cost sheet clerk is responsible for fixing up the time involved and the cost involved in completion of a particular job. So he will be making time and cost sheet. Okay. Then disciplinarian is responsible for performance of job in orderly and systematic manner. Disciplinarian will see that the work is performed in orderly or systematic manner or not. So these 4 people are working under the planning in charge. Okay, so this is the planning department. Second department which Taylor suggested is production department. Here also there are 4 bosses: gang boss, speed boss, repair boss, and inspector. Now what is the function of gang boss? See, gang boss is responsible for arranging all the machines and tools which is required for doing the production. So he makes available all the tools, okay, tools and machines. Now speed boss, he will assure the timely completion of the work. Repair boss, he will ensure that the machine and tools are in working condition. He is responsible for repairs actually. So he will see that the machine and tools which is required in production are in good condition or not, whether they are in working condition or not. And last one is inspector. Inspector will see, he will check the quality. Okay, he is the quality controller. He will check the quality of the work done. So this is what functional foremanship is, where the worker is getting instruction from 8 bosses. Okay, 4 in production and 4 in planning department. So this is the first technique given by F.W. Taylor. The second technique is the standardization and simplification. So standardization means maintaining standards or predetermined specifications related to quality, size, type, weight, measure, etc. Means what? There are always some predetermined specification. Some standards are set and the production should be done on the basis of those specifications. It can be related to quality, okay, such predetermined or determined specification for the product can be related to quality, or maybe it is related to size, that this is the particular size of which the product should be manufactured. Then the type of product, the weight, the measure. So always there are specification which is already mentioned. Okay, and the production should always be done according to that. So that is standardization. Second is simplification. Simplify. To simplify means to eliminate unnecessary diversity. Okay, a lot of diversification suppose a company is having related to the product or size or type. So you can take example of a company which is manufacturing different types of product, like the company is take example of FMCG company, where the company is manufacturing soaps, then shampoo, then cream, body lotions, talcum powder. A lot of products are there. So those products which are not doing good in the market, their profit is not up to the mark, the company should stop production of that particular product. So that is simplification, to eliminate unnecessary diversity which is not required, or in a product or size. Okay, suppose a particular soap is coming in the market in a variety of size, 10 gram, 5 gram, 20 gram, 100 grams, 150 gram. So these type of unnecessary diversity, if it is there, it is not running successfully in the market, the company should eliminate it. The company should reduce the variety of product, variety of sizes or type. Okay, so that is simplification. This is the second principle. Next is the work study techniques. Okay, so first one was functional foremention, then standardization and simplification. Now Taylor gave this technique, which is work study techniques. What work study technique says? It focuses on maximum production at minimum cost. What should be the maximum production with minimum cost, so that the factory will get maximum benefit out of it. So he in work study techniques gave 4 studies. Okay, so first one is time study. Time study is conducted to determine the standard time. Why it is done? To determine the standard time needed to perform a job. Okay. So the main reason of conducting time study is to determine that what is the standard time which is required or which is needed to complete a job. Okay, then how many number of workers are required to complete the work in a given period of time, and then time study also categorize efficient and inefficient worker. Next is method study. Method study is conducted to find out the best way of doing the job. The best way of doing the job. Okay. So which method the company should follow? Whether the company should go for capital intensive method or labor intensive method. So there are different methods of doing the job. So method study is conducted in a company to find out the best way or the best method of doing the job, so that maximum production the company can have at minimum cost. Okay. After this we have motion study. Motion study is conducted to determine the movement of the worker. To determine the movement of the worker. So unnecessary motion or unnecessary movement of the worker is to be eliminated, because it will create what? It will create fatigue, or the worker will become tired if unnecessary he is moving in the factory. So motion study is conducted so that the company will able to know the movement, which is the productive movement. The company will be able to differentiate between productive and unproductive movements. There are some movements which are not required. Okay, and because of it the labor or the worker is getting tired. So those movement is to be eliminated. And all the movements which is productive, which is required for production, should be included or should be done. So to determine the unproductive and to differentiate between unproductive and productive movements, and the movement of the worker which is required, which is needed, is determined by conducting motion study. Last one is fatigue study. This study is done to determine the number and the time duration of rest interval. To determine why it is done? To determine the number of times, or you can say the frequency and duration of rest interval. Okay, so what should be the rest interval? If a worker is continuously working in the factory, he'll get tired, so he needs some rest period. Okay, so during the work duration of 8 hours or 6 hours or 10 hours, How many times, the number of times means the frequency, how many times the worker should be given rest interval, the gap period, the recess time, and what will be the duration of rest interval. Okay, now suppose in a school like the students, you get recess. Okay, the recess is of 20 minutes, then a small recess of 10 minutes, in a duration of 5 hours or 6 hours school you are having. So for 6 hours, 2 interval, one of 10 minutes, one of 20 minutes. Okay, long recess, small recess. So that is what, that is the rest interval given to the students. So same way, rest interval given to the workers in a factory, so that they will become, they will refresh and then they can come for the work. So this is fatigue study, that is study which determines the frequency and duration of rest interval of a worker. The last technique given by F.W. Taylor is differential piece weight system. This technique says that, this technique put emphasis on differentiating the worker in efficient and inefficient. Okay, so we differentiate the workers on the basis of efficiency. It emphasizes on paying different wage rate to efficient or inefficient worker. That means piece wage will be given, okay, and there will be different wage system. Differential piece wage means on the basis of pieces manufactured, the factory or the company will differentiate the workers on the basis of pieces manufactured in efficient and inefficient. So suppose rupees 8, okay, rupees 8 per piece is given when you reach the standard, okay, standard, up to the standard, and rupees 6 per piece below standard. Okay, suppose this is the wage rate, or the policy of the company to pay wages is, if a worker is manufacturing up to the standard or more than the standard, he will be paid 8 rupees per piece. Okay, and if the production is below standard, the worker will be paid 6 rupees per piece. So this is differential piece wage system, where the company differentiates between efficient and inefficient worker. So this acts as a very important motivator to the workers. The efficient worker, they are motivated because they are being paid higher wages, and when efficient workers are given higher wages, they are paid more, then the inefficient worker, they also get motivated to come up in the category of efficient worker. So this is the difference in the wage rate, to motivate the workers to produce maximum quantity, or to reach the target, to produce beyond the target, to maximize production. This differential piece wage system, Taylor has suggested that this technique should be adopted. Then the efficient worker will be motivated, and inefficient will also be motivated to come up to that level, so that they will also get rupees 8 per piece or higher wages. So with this we complete the techniques of scientific management.